What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
This is the OPS pregame report.
Welcome live from Homestead High School for a midweek matchup between the 19-1 Homestead Spartans and the 15-8 South Bend St. Joseph Indians. Good evening, I'm Anthony Gery alongside color broadcaster Noah Lancz and sideline reporter Karlie Flanagan as we are about 7 minutes away from tip-off of tonight's game. And Noah, the Spartans are coming off an ever-important win versus Northside.
And that game was so important because it clinched the SAC title for the Spartans, regaining it after not winning it last year. They've won it 6 of the 7 years that they've been in the SAC. They won it the first 5 years since joining back in 2016, but it's really good for them to get back on top of the SAC.
And let's get into the OPS pregame show, starting by taking a look at the SAC standings. And Noah, you can see right here that the Homestead Spartans have won the SAC and have regained the title that they were stripped from last year.
And even if Homestead is to lose against Northrop and Snyder is to beat Carroll, with the two tied at 8-1, Homestead will hold the tiebreaker against Snyder because they beat them here a little bit ago. So no matter what, Homestead is going to win. The SAC is a little different. Not every conference does this where a tiebreaker is in place, but that's what is here in the SAC, and Homestead back on top.
And what that means is if Homestead trips up to a very good Northrop team on Friday, they still win the SAC because they have head-to-head win over the winner of Snyder versus Carroll. You see, both with the tick in the loss column, both to the Homestead Spartans. And now, let's talk about a broken record. We have to talk about Aeon Patterson again. We all know she's been the one leading the way for Homestead this whole year, and especially as of late. But now she is also cementing her place in Homestead history. She has a double-double in 12 out of the last 13 games, including 4 games in a row.
And she has really just had a historic season so far, and it's not even over. She's got so much more that she wants to accomplish, but just this season, double-double in all but 4 games, double-double in 12 of the last 13, scored in double figures in every single game this year, 20-plus in all but 1, 15-plus rebounds in 6 games this year, and 30-plus points in 4 games. That just shows her dominance, but she's been doing it for her whole career here at Homestead. Second all-time in scoring, first in rebounds, first in block shots, second in field goals made, and second in free throws made. She has had a historic career.
In those categories, she's second in. She is only behind Carissa McLaughlin, the former Miss Basketball in 2017 for the state of Indiana, went to Purdue, and probably between her and Patterson, one of them you can make the argument for the best player in Homestead history. But if you look at the category, she's first in rebounds, block shots. It's not even close. She has run away with it.
And that's where she's been so dominant throughout her career. She's bigger and stronger than everybody else, and she's going to show you that. That's why she gets so many rebounds and so many blocks, just jumping up higher than anybody else. She is such a dominant force.
And with all of her success today came word that Ayana was named to the most sacred All-American team, the McDonald's All-American. She was one of only 24 players selected nationwide and became the first Spartan girl ever to be selected to this team.
And Ayana is getting the national recognition that she deserves. She's only the second player in Homestead history to be named to an All-American team, and the first that is a girl. The other was Caleb Swanigan back in 2015. But this just shows you that she's finally getting the national recognition that she deserves, and she's one of the best players in the country.
And that's proved. Only 24 girls on that roster. Such a prestigious team to be on, such a prestigious title. And now let's turn away from Patterson and to the game tonight. The last time each of these teams played, they both walked away with solid road wins. Spartans at Northside to clinch the SAC, and the Indians at Elkhart in a big conference showdown.
And Homestead doing what they've done all season to the teams that can't compete with them, running away with it. Just in the first quarter, getting the lead already out to 20 and 25 to 5 lead, ending the first quarter. Ayanna Batterson did her thing like always, 26 points, 10 rebounds, getting the double-double. But she's such a dominant force down low that she can kick it out and find players. That's why she had 7 assists in that one. They forced 22 turnovers. When you force 20 or more, you're usually going to win the game.
And South Bend St. Joe with a nice 5-point win over a very good Elkhart team. Now let's take a little closer look at the St. Joseph Indians. About 1 month ago, this team was in the midst of a 4-game losing streak, but pretty much since the new year, they played some good basketball, going 6-2 in that time span.
And they've really turned it around. You see, they started this year in the second to last day a year ago with a 3-game win streak, much better than having the 4-game losing streak. They've had some tough conference losses against Penn and then a close one against John Glenn, but this team is trending upwards.
And the team will get their toughest test tonight versus the #1 team in the state of Indiana on the road. It's really going to be a tough matchup, but a chance to prove themselves. Now let's break down these two teams, take a look at the comparisons between them. You can see Homestead has the advantage in almost every category.
Well, the only one that they struggle in is the turnovers. They're only 0.2 turnovers worse than St. Joe, but when St. Joe's 105 in the state by Sagarin ratings, Homestead #1, you'd expect these numbers to be all in the Spartans' favor, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Out-rebounding by more than 10, outscoring by 11, and then the defensive. Homestead only averaging, giving up 42.2. That shows how good their defense has been all season long.
Overall, Homestead is a well-rounded team. They're a very strong team, and you can see why. I mean, they lead in every single category in this game. It looks like this one might end up being a little bit lopsided.
Especially when you see their field goal percentages. This team is so good from beyond the arc. 38% is great for any team, and that just shows you how much of a threat they are. You have Ayanna Patterson, who dominates down low, but she can kick it out so easily. She draws double and triple teams a lot, and that's what leads to this team having so many great three-point looks.
And that is a big reason as to why the Spartans lead in the rebounding game as well as the scoring game. And now we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Karlie Flanagan, who's standing by with Coach Rod Parker. Karlie?
Thanks, Anthony. And Coach, we've reached the final week of the regular season. What are you looking out for your Spartans tonight to get them to win this conference matchup?
Well, it really comes down to playing good basketball for 32 minutes, having a lot of energy tonight, and we just got to make sure we execute on both ends of the floor because right now it's just a matter of kind of fine-tuning things going into the tournament and paying attention to the details that are really important and allow us to be successful.
Okay, good luck. Anthony, Noah, back to you.
Thank you, Karlie, and we are set for a pretty exciting one tonight. Don't go away. When we come back, we're going to have lineups and the keys to the game. You're watching Homestead High School Hoops on Homestead Live.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
I can't wait to get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Welcome back to Homestead High School, and we are getting set for tip-off of tonight's game of South Bend St. Joseph versus Homestead. Now, Noah, can you give me the starters for South Bend St. Joe?
For South Bend St. Joe, they are led by the player that's been leading them all year, Katie Radigan, who's a 5'8 guard. Another guard, Taj Caceres. A third guard is Lauren Harrington. And then the two forwards that are going to have a tough task of guarding Ayanna Patterson, Haley West, and Peyton Holt.
And the Spartan lineups will stay the exact same. Emma Royce, Molly Stock, Allie Stevens, the three-guard set. Maggie Kinsley, the small forward, as she started to fill into that driving to the basket role. And, of course, the McDonald's All-American, Ayanna Patterson, leading the way for the Spartans. And now we're going to take a look at our keys to the game for both teams. Starting with South Bend St. Joe, they have to feed Radigan. She has been producing all season long on offense. There's a reason she's averaging over 23 points. Feed her, trust her on offense. And then on defense, they've got to control the tempo. They can't let Homestead run away.
Well, Radigan has been so good all season, and you don't see any reason why it's going to slow down tonight. But those two players that were just introduced, Molly Stock and Emma Royce, are going to have to slow her down when they're guarding her at the guard position. And then South Bend St. Joe has to control the tempo. They cannot allow the Spartans to get out and run.
And for Homestead, they've got to win the rebounding game, as they have done with Ayanna Patterson, that girl. All season long, she has been leading the rebounding game. They have to win it again tonight. They're averaging more than 10 rebounds per game than South Bend St. Joe. And they've got to get off to a quick start.
Well, Homestead has a size advantage by a large margin. The tallest starter for South Bend St. Joe is Peyton Hull, and she's only 5'11". Ayanna Patterson standing at 6'3". Homestead's likely going to win the rebounding matchup like they've done all season.
Now we're getting set for tip-off. South Bend St. Joe, they will have a tough task on their stands. Homestead has now moved back up to number 1 in the Saginaw rating, so they are back to being number 1 in all 3 major polls: coaches polls, media poll, and the Saginaw ratings.
And they've definitely got the resume to be number 1 in all those. They've had some great wins this season and look to carry it into the postseason.
Patterson on the tip, going up against Hall. Patterson has not lost the jump part of the tip all season long, and she wins it again there, tipping it straight to Emma Royce. Homestead pushing the tempo early. Patterson at the free throw line, drives inside, jumper, knocks it down. Quick 2 for Homestead, only 13 seconds.
With South Bend St. Joe in that 2-3, they're going to need to find Ayanna Patterson in the middle of that zone, and then she can feed it to players or do what she just did, take a jump shot there. She's so effective with the ball in her hands.
Zone has either been the Spartans' kryptonite on offense, or they have been eating it up. It all depends on how the team plays. Radigan takes a deep 3, no good, boarded by Patterson. Quick transition, pump fake Kinsley, and the next shot falls. Nothing but net for Maggie Kinsley. Homestead off to an early 4-0 lead.
And Maggie Kinsley showing her experience and getting the defender jump up in the air. That pump fake just shows you that she's a veteran, and she's making the shot easier for herself.
3, too strong and air ball for Catharsis of St. Joseph. Now Homestead a chance to attack again on offense. Stevens, open 3, don't leave her open, and she knocks it down. Homestead off to a quick pace and a quick 7-point lead.
Well, this season, Allie Stevens has been a very streaky shooter, but she has been so good as of late. She's shooting 39% from behind the arc. You cannot leave her open.
St. Joseph needs to push something. Homestead in a zone defense right now. They haven't played in a zone much, usually stick to man. Harrington for Catharsis and back to Radigan. No offense yet for St. Joe, and the pass out of bounds. That's going to be a turnover.
And their offense is looking very stagnant right now. They haven't even tried to get it down low in the paint, but when Ayanna Patterson is usually down there, most teams shy away.
They don't want to test Patterson at all in this game, showing a little bit of fear, and you know the Spartans are going to eat that up. Kickball called. The ball will stay here with Homestead.
And to start this game, Homestead has come out firing 3 for 3, all on jump shots. The Indians need to find a way to contest a little better and get out on shooters.
Homestead in their at-home whites. St. Joseph in their baby blue away. Stevens with a 3, 2 for 2. to start the game, and Homestead out to a 10-0 lead in the first minutes.
And South Bend St. Joe did exactly what they should have done, leave Allie Stevens wide open for three.
And pass stolen by Stock. Fast break finds Patterson and laid in off the glass. Much needed timeout taken by St. Joseph.
What a start for the Spartans. 5 for 5, including 2 for 2 from behind the arc. And then on the defensive side right now, South Bend St. Joe's 0 for 2. They've only gotten 2 shots. This Spartans team has come out quick.
2 minutes and 21 seconds into the game, Homestead has not missed a shot, and South Bend St. Joseph has turned it over twice. All Indians fans have to be hoping that this does not keep up. Right now, pure dominance in the first minutes.
And if it does keep up, this Homestead team could very well be looking at a new season high. Right now, it's sitting at 81 points against Concordia. But with the way they've come out in this one, making their first 5 shots, and doesn't seem like they're slowing down, they could surpass that 81-point margin.
And something so special about this Spartan team is their stamina. You know, Coach in the game the whole time and not look any different, not look tired. Radigan drives inside, dish out, 3, Hall, no good, and rebounded by Royst. She fumbles the ball, picks it up, and crosses half court to Stock.
And South Bend St. Joe finally able to get an open look, but not able to capitalize. They have to keep on getting those looks, but capitalize on them next time.
And they are going so bottom heavy on defense, leaving Allie Stevens wide open as Radigan knocks down a deep 3. South Bend St. Joe is on the board.
And they're going to have to hit those shots all night. Radigan averaging 23 and finally getting in the scoring column.
Royce takes a 3, and she's too strong with that one. St. Joe, the chance to score on back-to-back possessions, cut into the Spartan lead. Pass dished out to Harrington. Now Radigan takes the 3, too strong. And the ball goes out of bounds, tipped off of St. Joseph. Homestead ball.
And South Bend St. Joe has not settled into their offense yet in this one. It seems like every time they've gotten a look, it's just been from a pull-up, mainly from Radigan. They haven't been passing the ball like Homestead has been.
Kinsley thought about 3, delivers a beautiful pass underneath to Patterson. She lays it in off the glass. Patterson already up to 6. Stevens at 9. 2 leading scores on the game. Stock tips it out of bounds off the foot of Radigan. And that's going to be another turnover by the Indians.
Molly Stock is one of the great defenders on this Homestead team. She averages 1.3 steals per game, getting her hand in there, not getting the steal, but is still tipped off of Radigan and getting the ball back to the Spartans. But if you're South Bend St. Joe, you cannot have many more empty possessions before this one becomes a blowout.
Molly Stock takes a 3. In and out, rebounded by South Bend St. Joe. Molly Stock is only a junior, but a lot of people would consider her a veteran. She's played on varsity all 3 years. And that was a veteran move on defense, tipping that ball off the offender's leg. Indians on offense trying to get something going. Only 3 points to Homestead, 17. Xarsis to West and back to Radigan.
And right now, when Ayanna Patterson isn't in the paint, you have to find a way to attack it. Even though you don't have a tall player, you still need to try to drive the ball.
Patterson on the offensive side, dribbles off her foot and out of bounds. St. Joseph ball.
Ayanna Patterson has had a few times where she's had plays like that, but she is so good in transition, usually almost unstoppable when she's driving to the hoop. So Coach Parker can't be too mad, but also you don't love to have her bring the ball up the court.
And that pass away out of bounds off the mark from Kasarsis, intended for Hall. A little confusion as the buzzer sounds. Play continues. And there still is a little bit of confusion. The buzzer sounded for the substitution to come in. The officials didn't allow it initially, and now they will, resetting the game clock back up to 3:09.
But for the subs for Homestead, they've already got 3 players off the bench, and they've been coming in more often. You talked about the stamina and energy for this team. When the bench players come in more, it leaves the starters more time to be good.
Stevens grabbed her own rebound, missed the putback, and attempt save by Brianna Woods goes out of bounds. Homestead will keep possession of the ball, leading by 14.
Allie Stevens in the second half of the season has really become more aggressive at the hoop. At the start, she was more just of a three-point shooter, but she's been able to drive to the hoop and get good shots.
Landergan drives to the hoop, puts one up off the backboard, no good. Here comes St. Joseph trying to get something in transition, and they'll slow it down. Hall Kasarsis, the top of the gi. To Radigan, only 3 points, takes a 3, and no good. Stevens with the rebound, trying to go in transition. Back out, Bottoms, free throw line, Freem, and a foul called on the steal.
And so many times, Ayana Patterson down low forces so many fouls on her. Right now, the tallest player, Peyton Hull, 5'11" for South Bend St. Joe. That's where they're really struggling with the height, and Ayana Patterson's already up to 6 in this one.
Stevens comes out of the game for Homestead. She had a really good performance, and they're going to call a foul on Sydney Freeman, a legal screen. And that's going to be a turnover back to St. Joe.
And ever since that hot start by the Spartans, they've really cooled off. They've gone 2 for their last 7 after starting 5 for 5 in this one. Even though they've got a 14-point lead, they aren't hitting their shots right now, and it seems like their offense is really stalled.
The defense hasn't stalled, though, still only allowing 3 points in 6 minutes. 3 open for Hall, no good. And the ball tipped out of bounds off of St. Joe. Homestead ball.
So far, the Indians are getting a lot of good looks, especially from beyond the arc, but they have not been able to capitalize on any of them. That's Hull's second missed 3 already of this one. She can get those to fall, and the Indians continue to play good defense. They may be able to get themselves back in this one.
Stock open 3 from the wing, knocks it down. Splash for Molly Stock.
And it seems like that good defense is gone after that, and the dry spell is over for the Spartans. Molly Stock coming right back in the game, doing what she does best, the best three-point shooter on this team at 46%.
20-3 ball game right now in the first quarter. Like you said earlier, Homestead on pace for their season high in points. Most points South Bend St. Joe has allowed this season was 101 to South Bend Washington. It's a foul called underneath the basket on the shot, and that'll send, not on the shot, that's going to be called on the floor. Evie Bottoms will go for the inbound, and Patterson comes out of the game for the Spartans with 6 points and 3 rebounds.
And as you were mentioning, South Bend St. Joe allowed 101 points to South Bend Washington, a team that Homestead beat when South Bend Washington was #1 in the state in Sagarin rating. So it's interesting to see how these two match up today.
Stock trying to work inside on Kasarsis, outside to Bottoms. Her 3 no good. Ball tipped around. Kinsley grabs the rebound. First shot no good. Second shot and pulls a foul.
This season, Maggie Kinsley has really seen herself at the line a lot, a place where she's improved a lot. She's shooting 69% from the line, and earlier in the season, she was less than 20%, so she's been improving as well as this team overall, 75%.
Coach Barker continued to constantly substitute people into the game as Maggie Kinsley knocks down the first free throw. And Hillary Adams, the 9th player for Homestead to play in this game. Second free throw for Kinsley is knocked down. Spartans to 19-point lead. Just under a minute to go in the first quarter. Underneath, taking advantage of the Patterson-less paint, and can't convert. Rebound for Adams. Adams running the point for Homestead with Molly Stock out to the side. And there's Molly Stock on the wing. Again, Molly Stock, another three. And she's up to 6 points. Other side, steal by Kinsley. Homestead seeing if they can hold the ball. Taking their time. Royce drives to the basket. Shot up, no good. Rebounded by Freem, and the layup in. 10 seconds left in the first quarter. Here comes Radigan. Crosses half court. 5 seconds. Drives inside and took way too many steps. That's going to be a travel and another turnover for St. Joe.
It's been a real struggle with those turnovers. Their offense has not been able to find any rhythm.
Can Homestead get up a final shot? Royce heaves one and knocks it down. Emma Royce, a deep shot, and she's on the scoreboard. That is the end of the first quarter. Homestead up to a 30-3 lead.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Homestead High School, and what an amazing first quarter on offense for the Homestead Spartans. 30 points, and on defense only allowing 3.
This is by far the best quarter we've seen the Spartans have all season long. 6 of 9 from behind the arc, 5 of 11 from their twos. They've got 2 free throws to go along with that, and that quarter was summed up by the last 2 possessions for St. Joe. They tried to drive inside, but traveled. And then 3.5 seconds left. Molly Stock gets the inbound pass and just passes it over to Emma Royce, thinking there is nothing there. She chucks it up and hits a deep 3, and that just sums up how this game has gone.
What a compliment to an incredible first quarter. A deep 3, and that has to be nice for Emma Royce, who started the game 0 for 2 from the field. Knocking down the 3 has to give her a little bit of confidence. We're back in, and Radigan takes the shot, no good, off the rim. Homestead attacking the offense again, up 27. Kinsley heaves one to Patterson, and she uses her physicality to put up a shot, can't fall in.
That's a place where, especially last game, Ayanna Patterson struggled. It seems like she had so many opportunities down low, but she couldn't finish them, where she usually is so strong.
St. Joe needs something on offense. Caceres passes it to Patterson, and she can't hold on. It goes out of bounds, staying on the offensive side for the Indians.
And once Ayanna Patterson came out, it seemed like the Indians started to attack the paint a little bit more. Their first possession here, they had a shot in the paint. We'll see if they look to do that.
Layup no good, as they do attack the paint, like you said, with Patterson not in there, unable to convert. Adams on the right wing to Patterson top the key. Royce on a pivot foot to Adams top the key 3. No good, and rebounded by Hull. Foul called by the official as Radigan was trying to drive in on the fast break. That one's going to be on Molly Stock.
That's a good foul by Molly Stock right there. It didn't seem like anybody was going to be able to beat Radigan to the hoop, so just fouling, not allowing any easy points.
Hall with a dribble jumper and knocks it down. Finally, some points on the board for South Bend St. Joe. Patterson drives to the hoop and lays it up, and there is no stopping her with an open lane like that.
And it's just been so much easier for the Spartans in this game. Right away, they answer back, and it seems like South Bend St. Joe has struggled so much.
And there is Kelly Radigan. Finally knocks it down from deep. 5 points, 6 points on the game, 2 threes. Patterson, double guard, step back jumper, knocks it down. That is the part of the game she's been working on and executing it perfectly. Other side, Hall with a 3. High bounce off the rim, offensive board, layup, no good for West. It's another offensive board. And now Radigan, top of the key, knocks down the 3. And a timeout taken by Coach Parker and Homestead.
It was just really lazy job there by the Spartans, not getting out and not getting the rebound. St. Joe had 3 opportunities on that possession, finally able to capitalize. Karlie Flanagan is starting to heat up, hitting her last 2 threes. She's averaging 23.7 points per game, and she's at 9 now, but nobody else has really scored so far. Hull has 2. They're the only 2 players for St. Joe to score in this one.
And they're the 2 leading scorers on the whole season, 23.7 for Radigan and 12.2 for Hall. Right now, 11 points that they are combining for. Hall has gotten a couple rebounds, though, to start off this quarter. She's the leading rebounder on the team, averaging 6.6.
And she is one of the taller players. Zoe Watts is taller, but she doesn't see as much playing time as Hull. So Hull is that main rebounder for this team, and she's had the tough assignment of trying to guard Ayanna Patterson down low.
Stock to Patterson. Finds Stock wide open, and the layup up and in the finger roll off the glass.
And that's a set play we've seen so many times this year, and it seems like it's worked every time to perfection for the Spartans. Ayanna Patterson draws so much attention, but she is a underrated passer.
Radigan delivers the pass, pump fake shot for Hall. No good, and rebounded by Royce. Stock, true point guard for Homestead. Caught on a pivot, but has to hand it off. A battle for it, and that's going to be a jump ball. Great play by both Allie Stevens and Karlie Radigan. Pass inbounded to Patterson. Over to Stock. Now you see South Bend St. Joe, they've switched to a man defense in the second quarter. Trying to slow down Homestead and Patterson. And an unclean pass turns the ball over. Underneath, layup, and a foul. That foul is going to go on Maggie Kinsley.
And it seems like with that man defense for St. Joe, they are having a lot more success on the defensive side, only allowing 6 points, nearly 3.5 minutes through this quarter. And in the first quarter, they allowed 13 points just in the first 2 minutes and 21 seconds, definitely improving. And that's why you see their coach go away from the zone play.
Very strong second quarter so far for St. Joe. Homestead, you know they wanted to try to get to the mercy rule that is set at 35 points. Patterson, top of the key, triple guard, finds Bottoms open in the corner. No good from 3. They're going to call a push-off foul on Allie Stevens.
Allie Stevens has really got herself involved more and more on the offensive boards, especially after a Carroll game where she really struggled. We've seen her more and more on the offensive rebounding side, but they're just pushing off a little too much. The ref's going to call it every time.
Offense has been halted by that man defense so far. On the other side, Homestead also switched to a man defense, and now the offensive is rolling for St. Joe. Jumper knocked down for Radigan. Stock under a tight guard by Radigan. Homestead, they've got to get something going on offense. They've been halted so far. Stevens for 3. Splash! Allie Stevens, 4 for 4 from beyond the arc tonight.
Picking up right where she left off. She's been unstoppable, and you would think that St. Joe would step up but for some reason, they just keep on letting her shoot, and she keeps on knocking it down.
Radigan's pass to Hall completes after a little bit of bumpy roadness. Shot blocked by Stevens, and now Stevens going for the fast break. Halts, takes her time. Kinsley open underneath the basket. Spin move. Layup no good. Grabs her on board, and a jump ball called. That possession arrow is going to point in the Indians' favor.
Good hustle there by Radigan to get down for the ball. And surprisingly, St. Joe has outscored the Spartans so far in this quarter, 11-9, especially after getting outscored 30-3. It seems like they didn't want to have Homestead reach the mercy rule already. It's not likely that they're going to have a chance to come back completely in this, but if they can keep it manageable and knock down some shots, they could see themselves find closer game in the second half.
Radigan with an open lane, lays it up and in. She is up to 13 points, the leading scorer on any team tonight. Patterson outside to Kinsley. 3 no good, and the rebound out of bounds off of Radigan. Correction, that rebound's going to be called out of bounds off of Claire Landergan for Homestead. South Bend St. Joseph ball.
And so far, South Bend St. Joseph's offense has looked a lot better in this quarter. It seems like they're finding the rhythm, finding open shots, and finally knocking them down.
Radigan takes a daring 3, no good. Rebounded by Cacersis. A lot of communication on the floor. Both teams yelling out plays. Just dip under, 2 minutes left in the first half. Ball rolls out of bounds, stays here with the Indians.
And right when Ayanna Patterson comes out of the paint, the Indians try to go down low, and it doesn't work. Evie Bottom's doing a great job stepping over, and she's been a really good role player on this team, the 6th player for this team, the first one off the bench, but she's been a great impact player.
Outside open shot for Cacersis. She knocked it down, only the 3rd player on St. Joe to score. Lead reduced down to 20. And an over and back called on Homestead. Coach Parker not looking happy on the sideline, arms crossed. St. Joseph is playing really, really good basketball right now.
They've really come alive in this quarter so far. 16 points, lighting it up.
Pass stolen away from Landergan. Out to Bottoms underneath. Patterson wide open. You can't give her a single inch to work with, or else she'll lay it in top of your face.
And that's what the Spartans should have done a long time ago. Get it back to Patterson. She's so dominant down low, especially with no one able to guard her in this one. Feed her down low.
Beautiful vision by Patterson. Can Stevens go 5? 4-5 from beyond the arc. What a shooting night for Allie Stevens. And on the other side, Radigan knocks down the 3, keeping St. Joe in the game.
And these two might get into a 3-point contest as Radigan has 4, but Stevens has 5.
Patterson wanted to get in on the 3-point action, but had her toe on the line. That's going to be called for a 2. It's rare we see Patterson pull up from such a deep distance.
And she has been so good with her jumpers today. 3 for 3 when she's taking jump shots. That is not an usual stat line that you hear.
That McDonald's All-American blood just pumping through right now. Radigan looks inside. Dishes back out, 20 seconds left in the half. Arrington passes the ball off the foot of Eder. And Homestead will get a chance at the last shot.
With 14 seconds left, you'd expect Homestead to just hold for that final shot. You've got a 24-point lead. No reason to push it. Just try to get a good look, especially get it down low to Ayanna Patterson and see if she can kick it out.
Royce to Freem. What can Homestead do in these last 5 seconds? Patterson fouled hard underneath the basket. Arm to the face, and that's all Eder could do on defense is foul Patterson.
St. Joseph
Ayanna Patterson is just such a mismatch. Eder, a 5'5" sophomore guard, trying to keep up with Patterson, has no chance at all, so all she can do is foul Patterson. And it's really a good strategy. Make her earn it at the line. You see she missed the first one there, so make her earn her points.
Second free throw good, 4.5 seconds. Radigan tries to get up some kind of shot, passes it, and that is going to be the end of the first half. Homestead leads 47-22, a very dominant first half on the offensive end, and now we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Karlie Flanagan, who's standing by with Coach Parker. Karlie.
Thanks, Anthony. And Coach, a fast start on offense tonight, getting you out in this big lead. How satisfied are you with the Spartans' first half tonight?
Real happy. I thought we moved the ball real well that first quarter. Had great energy, shot it well. I think Allie's got 4 or 5 threes already. Molly's got a couple. So happy with what we did on offense. A little soft there in the second quarter defense. We got to clean that up. But otherwise, a very good half.
Good luck in the second half. Anthony, Noah, back to you.
Thank you, Karlie. And Coach Parker always says it the best. The offense is so clearly there for the Spartans. 47 points, already more than the least amount of the points they've scored in an entire game this season. But the defense got a little soft in the second quarter.
They really did, allowing 19 points, scoring 17. You wouldn't expect the Spartans to get outscored, especially when they outscored South Bend St. Joe 30-3 in the first. But either way, they're looking good in this one.
Great game for Homestead so far, but a very nice second quarter for South Bend St. Joseph. When we come back, we're going to have the OPS halftime show with Noah and myself.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Homestead High School for the OPS halftime report. Now we're going to take a look at our first half stats, and you can tell, you already know they're going to be all in favor of Homestead on offense.
Well, right now, both teams are shooting so well from behind the arc. 6 of 12 for South Bend St. Joe. When you're shooting 50%, you'd think you'd have a lead, maybe even a close game, but no. 8 of 14 for the Spartans in a 25-point lead, and they have dominated so much in the paint. For the 2-point field goal, South Bend St. Joe is just 2 of 9, whereas Homestead is 10 of 18. They're dominating down low in this one.
And Homestead on the season from beyond the arc, they're shooting 38%, but 57% tonight, and that seems to be a common theme. Homestead, they're either having the best shooting night of their life or they are struggling.
And it's been led by Allie Stevens, 5 of 5. She's very streaky, especially for her three-pointers, but she can get hot so quick. It seems like she's feeling it tonight. Molly Stock is also knocked down 2, and this team is feeling it tonight.
They really are on defense. Spartans have forced 8 turnovers, but South Bend St. Joseph, they forced 5 out of Homestead. It's really been the rebounding game that's hurting St. Joe.
And it's because they cannot match up with the Spartans in size. The tallest player that's been out there so far, Peyton Hull, 5'11". When you're trying to match up against the Spartans, that's not going to work out well. Ayanna Patterson, 6'3". Allie Stevens, 5'11". And so right there, Spartans just dominating, and they're showing you why their height matters.
And now we're going to take a look at the sectional draw that came out on Sunday. Homestead gets the bye. They play in Game 3 on Friday against the winner of New Haven, currently rated as the lowest team in 4A according to the Sagan ratings, versus Columbia City, who only has 1 loss on the season.
And you really just expect Columbia City to run away with this one. John Harrell's predicting it to be a 76-6 point game, just a blowout, and that shows you how different those two teams are and how different their season has gone so far in this one. So you expect to see Homestead versus Columbia City, 2 teams that both have 1 losses on the year.
And on the bottom side of the bracket, Wayne gets the bye, and they play the winner of Huntington North and Southside, which, based on recent events and recent wins, it looks like that is going to be all in Huntington North's favor.
Well, Columbia City's 1 loss came against Huntington North, so that is why this Class 4A Sectional 6 is so interesting. You'd expect Huntington North to get to the championship. They're a team that plays at a very slow pace, and it's very hard to adjust, especially if you're a team like Homestead who likes to push it. So that's why it's going to be very interesting to see who makes it to the championship.
And we said earlier that Homestead already has more points than their lowest scoring game this season. Well, that lowest scoring game came against Huntington North, a team that said best. They slowed down the pace. They really slowed down Homestead on offense, held them to only 43 points, and they slowed down Homestead on defense as well. They played at their own pace. They controlled Homestead. I mean, the Spartans, they were still able to walk away with a win, but it didn't feel like they got the closure they wanted.
And that shows you why the Vikings are such a tough matchup. But first, Homestead has to get through Columbia City, a team that has had a great season, only 1 loss, but Homestead playing on a Friday potentially against Columbia City, then playing on a Saturday potentially against Huntington North, has 2 very tough games if they play those 2 games.
And then Homestead, if they were to win the sectional title, they were to beat Columbia City, they were able to beat Huntington North and advance to the regional. Guess who would be waiting for them in Game 1 of regionals? Well, we don't know. It's the winner of Noblesville, Westfield, Fishers, Hamilton Southeastern, Carmel, Zionsville. Any of those 6 teams that come out of that Indianapolis sectional will face Homestead in the first round of regionals.
And those 6 teams are all top 15 teams in the state. That is such a tough sectional for the Westfield sectional, that is. So the winner of that will face the winner of this sectional in the first regional game, and then likely face Snyder later that night.
Currently, the favorite to come out of that crazy Westfield sectional is Noblesville, the only team to beat Homestead this entire year, and they beat Homestead pretty bad here at home.
And that's really the only game Homestead has looked to have a terrible game. Ashlyn Shade, it seemed like she ran a one-man press by herself, and it worked so effectively. The Spartans had no answer. They didn't know how to respond to it, but it's just interesting to see if we could have a rematch between those 2 teams.
And now we're going to take a quick break real quick, but when we come back, we'll have the second half of play, and we'll see if Homestead can continue their offensive tear.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
wait to get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby. That looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Welcome back to Homestead High School, and we are exactly 21 seconds away from the start of the third quarter. Noah, what are your expectations for the third quarter? What do you think each team needs to do?
Well, Homestead, they need to feed Ayana Patterson down low. She's got 15 in this one, tied for the second most with Allie Stevens. But right now, Karlie Flanagan is leading South Bend St. Joe. It seems like she's going to continue to do that, averaging 23 on the season, looking like she's going to get well past that with 16 in the first half, but none of her teammates have been able to step up and help her out.
All starters back in for both teams. Flanagan currently leads the game with 16 points. Patterson and Stevens right behind her, each with 15. Homestead starts on offense with Stock running the point. We'll see how many more threes Stevens can get in this half. Patterson with a jumper, and like you said earlier, Noah, that jumper has been en fuego this whole game. 15 points for Patterson. Other side, Hall three shot, no good. Homestead back on offense, 49 points. Stock, open three, knocks it down. And Homestead already above the 50-point mark and with a 30-point lead over St. Joseph.
And this is the fastest they've got to that 30-point mark all season. Right away, they do what they've been doing in the first half on their first two possessions, knocking down jump shots, a mid-range for Patterson, three-pointer by Stock, and it looks like they're just going to keep on hitting their shots tonight.
Patterson with another block, the leading blocker in Homestead history. Averages 1.8 a game. So Flanagan drives through an open lane, laying it up and in, cutting Homestead's lead down to 28. Stevens, Kinsley back to Patterson. Stock thought about three, didn't take it. Royce with the open three, knocks it down. Emma Royce, the second best three-point shooter on Homestead, is now up to 6 points.
And finally getting back into that scoring column today. She didn't score a game ago. She's only scored 2 points in her last 3 games, but she's knocked down 2 threes now in this one. And it seems like this whole season has been about confidence for her. Early on in the season, it seemed like she wasn't confident when she was shooting it, but now getting more confidence.
She had a huge game against South Bend, Washington, team that we've talked about earlier in this broadcast. Very strong offensive team. In the biggest game of the year for Homestead, she showed up. This kickball called on the floor, but Emma Royce, you said it's been all about confidence. She's only a sophomore starting on this roster, this #1 team in the state. There's going to be a lot of expectations, and so far she has stepped up into the role. Stock, open three, splash. Nothing but net for Molly Stock, and both of the shooters are on tonight.
And with that, we're only 1 point away from the mercy rule. Now 34-point lead for the Spartans, and they have knocked down every single shot this half.
Starting this half just like they did the first half. Not missing a thing. Stock, open three. No good that time. Board by Royce. And Kinsley swatted out of bounds.
Molly Stock finally brings the streak to an end, but in this one, 4 of 6. You'd think that'd be leading the team, but no. Allie Stevens, 5 of 5. She hasn't attempted one this half, but she's been so good.
And here comes the attempt, and the first one, the first miss for Allie Stevens tonight. Noah, you have certainly been a bad omen tonight.
Just another broadcaster's jinx. We see it a lot on free throws, but there for the three-pointer.
And quite a few times for St. Joe, you say something, and it goes the other way. Caught on a pivot foot. Ball gets away to Harrington. And a timeout called by St. Joseph. And there's going to be a 30-second timeout.
Great job by the two juniors who are in the second year of starting, showing their experience, trapping the South Bend St. Joe player in the corner and forcing a timeout. St. Joe has 3 left now in this one. I don't know how important they could be, but it's always important to keep your timeouts for as long as possible.
Those juniors are having really good games today. Molly Stock, 14 points. Allie Stevens, 15. Those two have really showed up, and they've proven that when they are both on fire, this Homestead team literally cannot lose.
And they cannot be stopped. If those two are hitting their shots, Ayanna Patterson is playing like she is right now, 8 of 10 so far. Allie Stevens, 5 of 8. And then Molly Stock, 5 of 7. If those 3 players are all in double digits and playing like this team could make a very deep postseason run.
Recently, Homestead was ranked in the top 25 teams in the country by ESPN, coming in at number 25, making their debut on the season. And they're playing like it tonight. Patterson underneath, layup, and the mercy rule. Homestead up by 36, and now the running clock is put into play.
Ayanna Patterson, whenever she touches the ball down low, it seems like she's going to score, doing it again right there.
That foul called on Emma Royce, and now every single one of the Homestead starters has 1 foul. Shot up and no good. Rebounded by Kinsley for Homestead. Stevens to Patterson, and she gets fouled hard from behind, slapped in the back of the head.
And on Patterson was the 5'8" senior forward, Haley West. She's really been struggling, and so has everybody for St. Joe when they've been trying to guard Ayanna Patterson. They just don't have the size to match up against her, and that's why she's at 19 points already.
Inbound to Kinsley in the corner. Back out to Stock. Royce, open 3. Too short, bounces over the board. Rebounded by St. Joe. Other side shot, no good. And nothing on offense is going for the Indians. Kinsley takes a dribble and lays it in. Maggie Kinsley has her total up to 6 points tonight.
Just a great move by Kinsley to take the extra dribble and make the shot that much easier. Get the defender away. We saw her do it in the first half. Pump fake, get the defender away, and continuing to make the game easier for her.
Radigan has been ice cold this quarter after a hot second quarter. Great feed by Emma Royce to Ayanna Patterson, and now Patterson has 20 points again.
In all but one game, she has done that. And so far, she is just dominating this game.
20 games this season. Patterson has had 20 points. This is the golden game. Royce, open 3, knocks it down. Emma Royce has had so many open looks. And now she's 3 for 5.
And there's so many shooters on this team that St. Joe doesn't even know what to do anymore. Emma Royce, 3 of 5, 60%. Molly Stock, 5 of 6, 66%. And Allie Stevens, 5 of 6, 83%. This team is hitting every single shot.
Patterson grabs the board, but an injury on the field. Brianna Woods falls to the ground. A little bit of a message from Patterson saying, "Don't mess with me." The trainer's coming out to greet Woods. We hope she's okay up here in the booth.
And a hard fall for Woods. Like you said, we hope she's okay. But right now, St. Joe has a lot of problems on the offensive and defensive side. They cannot get a stop at all. Homestead's already scored 20 points in this quarter, whereas St. Joe has only scored 2. It's very alike to that first quarter.
We're going to take a short break. Welcome back. everything is okay with Brianna Woods. She heads over to the bench along with the trainer, and now we are back in play. Ball tipped by Caceres, and now she's on the fast break. Euro step blocked by Patterson. Absolute denial. Ball out of bounds off of Radigan. It'll stay here with Homestead.
And Patterson showing exactly why St. Joe has not gone into the paint too much this game. She's such a dominant force down there, and she blocks so many shots.
Patterson trapped and throws it off the defender's leg to keep possession.
And you got to wonder how much longer these starters stay in. Right now, Patterson, the only one out there, but if you look at the clock, it's still running, even though the ball is not in play right now because of that mercy rule. So you're definitely going to see more and more of the bench play.
And right now we're looking at the next year future of Homestead girls basketball outside of Ayanna Patterson. She has an open look to the lane and puts it in off the glass. 23 points for Patterson. Radigan dicing up Landergan, jump shot, no good, and rebounded by Bottoms. Fast break, unclean to Patterson, and thrown out of bounds.
That's something we haven't seen too many times in this game. Homestead has played a relatively clean game. They had 5 turnovers at half, and in fast break, they've been really solid aside from a turnover by Patterson in that first half. But right now, this team is clicking, hitting their shots, and doing everything that Coach Parker wants to see.
Out of bounds off of Homestead. Hall to inbound to Radigan. Only 2 points this quarter for St. Joe. Now with 22 seconds left, we'll see if they hold possibly for the final shot. Quite a few of the bench players are in. Radigan takes a deep shot, no good. Boarded by Patterson. 8 seconds left. Pass to Freem underneath the basket. She's trapped outside to Adams. Step. Patterson, jump shot. Airballs it with some contact, and that's going to be the end of the fourth quarter. Homestead up 69-24. Welcome back to Homestead High School. 69-24, Spartan lead.
In such a dominant quarter by the Spartans, like we saw in the first quarter, outscoring South Bend St. Joe in the third there, 22-2. First quarter, 30-3. Add those up, 52-5. Complete dominance by the Spartans, and they found an answer for Kelly Radigan in that quarter. She had the only 2 points for St. Joe. She's really cooled off in this one, and it seems like St. Joe's offense was not clicking again.
Radigan still with 18 points on this game, but 18 of the team's 24. Not a good margin, as Homestead's scoring attack has been very diverse. All starters are back in for the Spartans. 3 knocked down for Caceres. And St. Joe already with more points in the fourth quarter than they had in the third quarter. Royce feed to Patterson, jump shot. No good, off the rim, and rebounded by Radigan. Radigan passes off to Caceres. Step back out. Radigan outside to Harrington. And the handoff back.
From what we've seen in this game, This team relies a lot on their three-point shot. They haven't had very long possessions. This is one of the longer ones actually right here, right now. Radigan takes a lot of pull-up threes, but they're shooting 31% on the season. Not a great number, not terrible, but with the amount of threes they take, they need to hit more.
Royst, open lane, lays it up and in off the glass. St. Joe back on offense. Quick three for Radigan. Splash. Quick jumper. She's up to 21 points. Just a little bit behind her season average. Patterson finds Royst. Wide open shot. No good and rebounded by Legagner.
Patterson has done a really good job all game finding her open teammates. That time Emma Royce not able to knock it down, but she's been finding her teammates and racking up assists all night.
Harrington to inbound for the Indians, finds Radigan. And back out. Radigan drives inside, open pass to Harrington. Shot no good and rebounded by Royst. She's up to 6 rebounds. Stock takes the shot, off the mark, rebounded by Patterson. Gets it stripped and a foul called on the floor.
And it looks like Patterson was fouled a few times when she was trying to get that rebound, but she is so dominant on both glasses, offensively and defensively. It seems like she's going to come down with every single rebound. She's got 7 now, well behind her season average of 12, but either way, she needs to be stopped by someone. You have to put a body on her and box out.
The only place where Patterson has struggled today is at the free throw line. Right now, she's 1 for 3 and goes 1 for 4 from the line.
And that's a place where she's improved a lot on the season. It's not often that you see her shoot so poorly.
Foul called on Royst. She was going for the block shot, and that's going to send Radigan to the line.
Right now, it looks like Coach Parker is going to take out all of his starters with 5 minutes left in this one. That's going to be a very long time for these bench players to come in, much longer than we've seen all season. But also, there is going to be the clock still going. It's stopped right now for free throws. It'll stop for timeouts. But other than that, it's just going to be running.
And right now, it's all about giving your starters rest. They have a big game coming up on Friday against Northrop, and also getting the future a little bit of playing time. Brooklyn Freem, only a freshman for the Spartans. Everyone else either a junior or a sophomore. Bottoms to Freem underneath, and a jump ball called.
Jump ball possession, Homestead. Haley West back in.
Possession stays with Homestead. The only other player on the bench for the Spartans is Sinai Sandlin, the freshman. Bottoms in the corner, guarded by Radigan, still in the game with 22 points. Adams, Freem, Landrigan. Steps outside, back to the top of the key. Homestead taking off a lot of time on this possession. Sydney Freem makes the shot in the paint. Homestead up to 73 points.
And you can tell that this team has, these are more inexperienced players, just the way the offense ran on that possession, much different than what we usually see.
Radigan makes the shot, and she's up to 24 points, just over her season average, and a full timeout called by St. Joseph. 3 minutes and 49 seconds left in this ball game. Homestead leads by 40. welcome back to Homestead High School. Small crowd on a Tuesday night. Second to last game of the regular season for the Lady Spartans. Second to last home game.
And Homestead sitting at 73 points right now. Season high of 81. We'll see if they can surpass that.
And we'll see. When they got their 81, they relied on their bench. We'll see if they do it again. Deep three taken by Hillary Adams, and she knocks it down. Spartans up to 76.
Hillary Adams, a player that hasn't played too much and seen her role decrease this year, but she's at 0.6 points per game, getting much better points right there.
Peyton Hall, who struggles from the three today, knocks that one down. Her total's up to 6. And a foul called in the paint. A reach-in foul. It's going to stay on the floor. And now Sinai Sandlin comes into the game for Homestead, sending Sydney Freem out. Now every player on Homestead has gotten minutes in this ballgame. Landergan trapped in the corner. Finds Adams at the top and an over and back. She couldn't haul it in.
A very young team out there right now. 2 freshmen, 1 sophomore, and 2 juniors. Like you said, this is definitely the future of Homestead next year. Getting a little glimpse, but obviously you'd say the 3 best returning players, Molly Stock, Allie Stevens, and Emma Royce on the bench right now. It's going to look a little different, but some of these players could definitely play important roles next year.
I think a lot of it's going to be relied on those 2, the 3-guard set. Royce, Stevens, and Stock has a great drive to the basket for Hall. St. Joe up to 38 points. Least amount of points they've put up this season was 34, now surpassing that. That game also against South Bend, Washington. Sandlin, shot in the paint, goes in. Homestead only 3 points away from tying their season high.
And on the other side for St. Joe, a lot of their offensive struggles have come from Radigan being the only main scorer in this one. Peyton Hull has been getting more and more engaged in this one as she just knocked down another 3. She's up to 11, so now she's getting close to her season average of 12.2, but it seems like all night it's been all on Radigan to carry this team, and you can't carry them to score more than 50 points.
Adams trapped, finds Bottoms open, and the layup up and down. And they're going to call a substitution. Now some bench players for St. Joseph will get some time in the final minute. Radigan taking her time, slowly bringing the ball up the court. Takes a step back 3. Beautiful stroke by Radigan. Knocks it down, and she is up to a silent 27 points.
And she's been trying to do all that she can. She's had a really good game. Like you said, a silent 27 points. Seems like so much of it has been outshadowed by how well Homestead's been playing.
Adams takes a 3. No good, and rebounded by the Indians. Just under a minute. Cacersis. St. Joseph with a 3. No good for Radigan. Homestead, are they going to go for the season high? Brooklyn Freem, layup, no good, and rebounded by St. Joe. Radigan working on Adams. Dishes it back out to Cacersis. Cacersis looking for Radigan in the corner. And back to Cacersis, 12 seconds left. Takes a 3, no good, rebounded by Sandlin. And Bottoms will collect the ball, and that's going to do it for this game. Homestead 1 point shy of their season high, but still an incredible offensive performance.
And this team came out firing here tonight, 30-3 at the end of the first, 47 at half. They just had an outstanding game in this one. Seemed like they were hitting every single shot, 13 of 24 from behind the arc, 19 of 32 on their twos. Didn't have too many free throw attempts, but in every aspect of this game, the Spartans dominated.
And now we're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Karlie Flanagan, who's standing by with Ayanna Patterson.
Thanks, guys. And Ayana, maybe the best first quarter play of this whole season, getting out to 30-30 lead. How are you guys able to put this game away so early?
Just relying on confidence in our ability to score the basketball. I mean, overall, we played good as a team, and we relied on our chemistry just to get us through it.
And hot shooting tonight for the entire team as we approach the end of the regular season. Is the team playing its best basketball of the season right now?
Yes, right now we're probably playing our best basketball just as a team. Our chemistry is building, and going to section, that's really good for us.
And then big day for you personally as you were named McDonald's All-American team. Just talk about that honor and what it means to be for you this year.
It feels great. I mean, it means a lot to our program and to me and my family. I mean, just to be recognized among one of the best players in the country feels great, and to have that prestigious name behind my back.
And one more game for you to play in front of the Homestead game this Friday night. What has it meant to you to play for these last 4 years?
Well, I mean, it's felt great to play in this arena and play for these fans. I mean, just playing at Homestead all together in the program, just being able to go out every Friday night and give my best, and my teammates in the community have my back.
Thank you, and good luck at your next game. Anthony, Noah, back to you.
Thank you, Karlie. And Ayana Patterson has had an incredible career. Will play her last home game at Spartan Arena on Friday.
And it really sounds weird to say that she's had such a great career. We talked about it earlier in this one. It's crazy to see that her career is going to be coming to an end, but an all-time great here at Homestead.
And even after the home games are done for Patterson, she's still going to have one last postseason attempt. Obviously, her first 3 years in the postseason have all come up short in the regional. First year to Hamilton Southeastern, a nail-biter game. Second year to an overpowered Northwestern team. And then last year, the most heartbreaking one, double overtime to Carroll.
And against the rival, it's, like you said, very heartbreaking, but she's had revenge on her mind all season, starting from the very first game, getting a 30-point win against Carmel, a team who beat Homestead by 34 a season ago, getting the SAC title back. It's been all about revenge, and so far, she's been checking everything off her list.
And now we're going to take a look at our final stats of the game, and it was very Homestead dominated. 54% from three. That is just incredible. I mean, all credit to South Bend St. Joseph for shooting 46%, one of their best shooting games of the whole year. Just overall, incredible shooting.
It really was. Both of these teams were lights out, but South Bend St. Joseph only made 5 2-point field goals in this one. Homestead made 19, and that was really the difference right there. 57% overall to 36. You see from three-pointers to overall field goals, the Indians' numbers drop 10%, whereas Homestead goes up 3%, and then dominating in the rebound category where they've done all season, out-rebounding the Indians by 20, just showing complete dominance in this one.
And that is a huge differential. 33-13 is crazy. The turnovers were down for both teams so far or in this game. Both were averaging about 13 turnovers per game, now down to 9 and 8. That's good to see for both teams heading near postseason play.
And it was 8 and 5 going into that second half. 3 for Homestead, 1 for St. Joseph in that second half. Like you said, really good going into postseason play. One more game for the Spartans before we get to that sectional, and we'll see how they fare in the postseason.
And with that, we're going to wrap up today's live stream. Noah, any final thoughts?
Well, this Homestead team, if they can play like they did and shoot for over 50% from behind the arc, they can make a very deep run in the postseason.
Thank you guys for watching the live stream. Final score, Homestead 80, South Bend St. Joseph 44. On behalf of sideline reporter Karlie Flanagan and color commentator Noah Lancz, I'm Anthony Gery saying goodbye from the booth and have a marvelous rest of your day.